G'day folks, how you going? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then a special g'day to you as well. As you'll notice by the title, something a bit different today. We are looking at some cameras. It's not an unboxing or a tech talk about different cameras and that. It's just a end user feedback, for want of a better word, on possible cameras you could use if you wanted to start up a YouTube channel, which is where this all sort of stemmed from, and in particular the GoPro 9, which is the latest camera I've been using. I used it on my last trip and I was quite impressed with it, so I thought I might just do a video to have a bit of a one-on-one discussion about the good and the bad things about the various different cameras. So consider subscribing, hitting down there, and the bell next to it, which will let you know when I've uploaded another video, and also give the video a thumbs up, because that really helps the channel out. That makes YouTube hopefully recommend my videos to other viewers. Anyway, let's run the intro and we'll get started. Something a bit different this week. Over the last 12-18 months, I've had a few people ask me about starting a YouTube channel, and in particular what sort of camera should they use. So I thought I might just make up this video as a bit of an example. So the easy answer to that question is whatever camera you can get your hands on, as anything is almost better than nothing. It all really depends on what you're going to do on your channel. If you're just going to be sitting around there talking, doing some uploading of your weekend forward driving, your phone is more than adequate. But if you're going to do more of a doco or travel, then a standard camera might be a better choice. This is not going to be a review of different cameras. I'm not going to be sitting here unboxing anything. I'm not going to be talking about specs and fancy words that the average person that's new to this isn't going to understand. What I am going to do is show you some of the stuff that I use and what I like about certain cameras, in particular the GoPro 9, which is my latest camera, but that's at the end. The easiest way to make a video is to use your phone. Most people have access to a phone and that's got a camera in it. And you see heaps of people on YouTube producing some pretty good content with the phone. It's smallish and it's also with you all the time. And some, I believe, also have image stabilization. Now that's pretty important. Nobody wants to watch a video that's bouncing all over the place. But there are a couple of problems with using a phone, and I've got to say this is in my opinion. Phones have a really wide viewing area. Now that's good to reduce camera shake or to get a really nice wide shot of something that's a little bit close to you. But if you want to see something that's in the distance or a fair way from you, then it may be a little bit too small to be able to see on the screen properly. And then there's the zoom or lack of. Now there are two types of zooms, an optical zoom and a digital zoom. An optical is where a number of pieces of glass within a lens move to make things look closer. That's why zoom lenses are as long as they are. They need a lot of space to be able to fit all those pieces of glass in there. Then you have the digital zoom. This is where there's no glass involved at all. What the camera does, it takes a section of the image and then blows it up to make it bigger. Now if you're shooting in 4K, this isn't too much of a problem if you only want to zoom in a little bit. But if you take it too far, it takes all the imperfections and blows it up as well. Then you end up with an image that comes up grainy or distorted, and that's how your phone camera works. Now these days you can buy add-on lenses to clip on your camera to zoom in, but that's another expense and something you need to pay to carry extra. And well, I don't really know how well they work, as I've never actually used one. One last thing, if you are going to use your phone, then turn it sideways like that. Humans look at the world with something like about 120-degree view. Holding your phone straight up and down gives you a very narrow view of what you're looking at. It's like walking around down the streets with your hands in front of your face like this. That might work if you're trying to see something that is got some height to it, but for the most part, turn your camera sideways, turn your phone sideways. Now the line between photo cameras and video cameras is getting a little bit blurry these days. Both cameras can take photos and videos. Some of them better than others. But I'm a bit old school. You use a video camera for video and a photo camera for photo. That's what they were primarily made for, with the others being a bit on the side. Now the thing about doing videos is, for every rule there is a time when there is an exception, and that's the same with cameras. It's just a matter of knowing when to use the exception. There are times when a photo camera can do a better job than a video camera, like nighttime time-lapse videos for one. Now I get asked occasionally what I consider to be the best brands, what's better. Now I like Panasonic, but that's not to say it's better. The features that the camera has, I know, and I've worked with for a while. I've been using them for years. Sony and Canon are also very good cameras. They have all been making film and video cameras from almost since they were invented, so they've had plenty of practice. Now, I would say stick with a known brand. Look at the features of the camera, of what you want today and what you maybe might want in the future, and then look at the price. This is my trusty camera, what I call travel cam. It's my main camera for shooting most things. It's small, light, runs well on a battery, although I have 6 of them, and they see me through a day of travelling and shooting. It's got image stabilisation and a pull-out screen that I can also rotate, so that when I'm doing selfies I can see that I'm actually in the video and that I can see that the camera is actually straight. Now I've been using this camera for about 10 years now, and it's only a 1080 as that was a big thing back then, but it is still as good today as it was when I took it out of the box. And it's been everywhere. It's been up and down Western Australia, I don't know how many times, interstate, out to Europe and the UK as well, and it's a Panasonic. Now let's put this a little bit into perspective for a minute. In the 1990s, when I had my own video business, this camera was the best of the best before you got into television cameras. The lens alone was $3.5 grand. Image stabilisation was that you had the 10 kilos on your shoulder and try not to sway in the breeze. And you walk like a model on a catwalk to keep the image smooth. All the latest technology that was in that is inside this, then some. Then I have my Pro camera. This is more of for studio work or this sort of stuff, or if I get some paid work, I'll use it for that as well. But it doesn't really travel with me much, and I can pick up any of these cameras and recognise the menus and what the buttons all do. They carry the same menus from one camera through to the next, and that's why I like Panasonic. When GoPro came out, it was pretty much aimed at the extreme sports person, the surfers, the hang gliders, the mountain climbing, that sort of people. It was small, great quality pictures, but the sound quality was crap. I started out with the Hero 3, then got the Hero 4. Still great pictures and still crap sound. But at least on the Hero 4 you could plug in a cable that would allow you to plug an external mic in. Then came the 5, 6 and 7, which were like this. Different body to the 3 and 4, higher quality pictures, but still onboard sound was bad. But these cameras came out with improvements on the sound. It went from crap to poor. But you could plug in an expensive box like this, which would allow you to use an external mic. This was a vast improvement. However, I found at least that quite often the camera wouldn't recognize the box and you would lose the sound, which was a complete pain in the ass. And after the initial supply, you couldn't get any more of these boxes. But the cameras now did come with image stabilization, and it didn't work half bad. Then came the Hero 9, completely new size box again, improved stabilization and picture quality, and a huge improvement in sound. Finally, it looks like GoPro has recognized that it's not just the extreme sports people that are using these cameras. Now I've just had to change cameras around. I'm now shooting on the travel cam so that I've got the Hero 9 here in front of me. For the first time, I think GoPro looked at the camera and started thinking about YouTubers. Why? Firstly, where the previous camera used to have a screen on the front, it really showed pretty useless information, just basically battery and a couple of other bits of things. The Hero 9 shows you what the camera is actually looking at, and that's great for selfie shots. Onboard microphone has been vastly improved, and you could almost get away with using that for all of your sound recordings. For those that wanted more direct sound from the front of the camera, say while talking to the camera, they have what they call their Media Mod, which not only allows you to plug in an extra microphone but also external power at the same time. What a revolution! And it comes with these extra cold shoes, one on the side there and one at the top here, so that you can attach a microphone and a light. And guess what? It really does work. It's a miracle. Finally, a vlogging camera that is useful. Image stabilization has been improved again to the point that it looks like the camera is actually floating as you walk. So is it perfect? Well, for me there are a couple of issues that fit into the nuisance factor. The screen on the back of it is a touch screen and is super sensitive. So it's possible while handling the camera to, like say, put it into record mode, to accidentally change the camera settings without knowing it. I've only just recently found an auto lock, but I'm not sure if that means it's a screen lock. But then the screen lock on these 7 I found a pain in the bum, so there's no pleasing some people, is there, eh? Then there is the GoPro mount on the bottom. The old GoPros were clean on the bottom and their mounting was actually on the frames. This one has these swing down mounts on here. If you have the Media Mod and you've got the camera in it and you want to remove the camera to like get to the battery or get to the SD card, you need to take the mount that you've got it on, whether it's a tripod or a selfie stick or something. You need to take that off and then flick the mounts up and then take that out before you can actually get your battery and your SD card out. It's a lot of mucking around, you know. I just don't understand why they put them on here. They should have just left it like the old system, stick them on the frame. You know, they could have put the mounts on the bottom of the Media Mod, and then you wouldn't have had a problem. It's just a matter of unlocking the end and then slipping the camera out straight away and then changing what you want and putting it back in. I just really don't see the reasoning behind doing it this way. And the other thing I'm not sure about is if you were to break these, whether they can be replaced or not. I mean, would you have to throw the camera away if you can't mount it to something? I don't know. It's not something I've looked into, and not exactly planning on breaking anything in a hurry either. Now there's no doubt that a GoPro 9 is expensive. They're retailing today for somewhere around about $560 odd. You can get cheaper cameras that look similar to the GoPros, but I've had about 3, 4 or 5 different types of cheap cameras up around about the $100 mark, and the fact is, for that price, they just don't do the same job. Their picture quality is not as good, their sound is crap, don't have image stabilization in them, and a big one, particularly for me, I have a number of cameras attached to my car in different positions, and in the passenger seat I use old telephones to connect with the camera, between the camera and the phone, so that I can control the cameras, turn them off and on, see what the cameras are seeing. And GoPro is the only one that has ever been reliable. Some of the others, the software freezes, or it constantly loses connection with the camera. Now the only problem with the Hero 9 compared to the older versions is that with the older ones, when you use the phone to remotely connect, you could hit the record button and you could see exactly what the camera was seeing. With the Hero 9, when you hit record, the screen goes blank on your camera and you can't see anything. I'm not really impressed with that idea. You might think that's no real big deal, but imagine you've got your camera attached to the side of your car, getting some great footage as you're driving down through the bush, four-wheel driving, and you get to the end of where you wanted to go and you think, oh, I'm going to have some great footage on that, and you go back and have a look and found out that the camera fell off 10 kilometres back. It's gone, you'll never know where it was. At least when you can see what the camera is seeing, you'll see that the camera's fallen off, and then you can stop and go and collect it, hopefully. The other big thing is too, there are times when I'm driving along down the road, I'm not going to be filming anything for a while, so I'll actually turn the camera off remotely. Now I can do that with these older ones, but with the Hero 9, if you turn the camera off, that's it, connection's gone. You need to physically go back to the camera and turn the camera back on, as opposed to the old ones that you just hit the power button on your phone and that would turn the camera back on again. A much better system. I don't understand why they went away from this brilliant system to go to this where you can't see what the camera's seeing, and you turn the camera off and you have to go back to the camera to turn it back on again. Just, yeah, to me it's a step backwards. Now the last one is a bit of a concern. If you plug the camera into power to charge the battery or to give it some continuous power supply, the camera pretty quickly gets mighty hot, to the point that it will shut itself down. Now the others got hot as well, but never to this point. So the answer to the original question, what's the best camera? My answer is still whatever you can get your hands on. But if you want to take your footage to the next level, then you should take a good look at the Hero 9. On my recent road trip, now I'll put a link up here if you haven't seen that one yet, for the first time my go-to camera wasn't the travel cam, it was actually the Hero 9. But then I did have somebody else running around getting those longer scenic shots with the travel cam while I did the close-ups and the talking to the camera shots. Now getting that amazing footage is only part of the job. If you want something that people are going to stay and watch, you will need to do some sort of editing. Even if it's just real basic stuff, it will improve the end result. But editing would be another subject video. If you're interested in taking that road, then put some comments down below, and if enough people want to look into it, then I'll do a video looking at that, at the pros and cons of some of the different editing programs and how to do some simple editing. So I hope that this might have been useful to someone. If it was, then put a comment down below and let us know which way you ended up going, what sort of camera you decided to get. And also in the description below is a link to Amazon. If you click on that, you can shop for any products in their store, and a few cents will get kicked back to this channel. That's a really easy way to help support this channel, and you can use that link at any time, so save it in your bookmarks for some time in the future. I'll also put some links to products down below that you might find useful in setting up your equipment, like tripods and mics and things like that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up as well. So till next time, happy travels.